Hello and welcome to Knit a Rainbow. My name is Kimberly McAlinden and I am so glad that you are here. On today's Tuesday tutorial or tips, anything that you need to help you with your life, I have something a little different today. My friend Dulsa is an animal communicator. Do you have an animal in your home that likes to play in your yarn or does naughty things to your yarn when you're not there? Do you have an animal with anxiety like I do? My poor little Hank does not like when I leave, and he would let me know with things that he would do around the house when I would leave. And so I contacted Dulsa, who I know from another class, and she has helped Hank and I be able to come to an understanding of he can't always be with me all the time. And so I wanted all of you to meet Dulsa in case there was something that you needed her assistance with. So without further ado, I would love for you to meet my friend Dulsa. I interviewed her a while ago and she just has the most wonderful information and wonderful story. If you need to contact Dulsa, all of her information will be in the description box below. Oh, Dulsa, it is so wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on my YouTube channel, Knit a Rainbow.
Oh my God,
Uh,
you are so
I,
welcome.
I'm so excited. Okay, Dulsa is an animal communicator. So why don't you share with us, what is an animal communicator?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. First of all, Kimberly, thank you so much for having me as your guest and sharing this amazing information with your guests and your followers and your subscribers. So, what is animal communication? Animal communication is literally talking with all animals, whether they're physically here or in spirit, telepathically, intuitively. Well, what does that mean?
Hmm.
Right? Let me back up. We are all born innately telepathic and intuitive. We're all born psychic. Animals are naturally born psychic and intuitive. They function at a higher vibration than humans do, which is why it's so easy for them to understand everything that is going on. Now, animal communication is such, you really don't see anything. Everybody's like, well, what does it look like? There's really not that much to look at. But what an animal communicator does is we basically tap in to our inner self, to our quiet self, a quiet state, and we're just present with an animal. I take a picture of an animal, I can get a name of an animal. I don't always have to have pictures, but I'll receive a picture, look at the animal, and just be in a quiet state, close my eyes, go into a meditation, and just allow my intuitiveness, my senses to allow and receive the information. So the information can come through seeing, visually seeing, like one of the readings I had a couple of days ago. We were just finishing up, he's showing me all his wonderful toys and everything. And all of a sudden I see a camera. I'm like, oh, why are you showing me this camera? And he said, just tell my mom and she'll explain. Okay. Because if I don't understand something, I will continue in that conversation. Why is this happening? What's going on? But the senses, we use all of our six senses. So we use our sight, we use our hearing, smell, even taste, and the all-knowing. You'll get an image in your mind's eye. Whether your eyes are open or closed, it doesn't matter. You may even get a feeling, a sensation in the body. For example, one of my first readings, which is a really cool reading, was a snake, Remy the snake, Sir Remington. And immediately I felt my arm elongating and then constricting, getting really tight. Like, oh my God, he doesn't have enough room. You're telling me you don't have enough room in your aquarium. And that's what his human was concerned about. And it was right on point. The key behind this in understanding animal communication is the fact that telepathy and intuition, and we'll use the phrase telepathy, right? Telepathic. That truly is the universal language. But because of the, I don't want to say evolution, I want to, in this case, a de-evolution, if you will, we've been taught over millenniums to rely on the 3D world. We've been taught to rely on what we see, what we hear only, and then we interpret it with emotions. So what that ends up doing is we deal with so many different emotions: sadness, anger, guilt, frustration, fear. And all of those emotions actually starts dampening down and eventually blocking our own psychic and intuition and our innate abilities to just have, wow, I just got a great thought. Wow, I just was thinking of that song and it came on. That really, that's your intuition, coming in. So, and by the way, you'll hear phrases of animal communicator, pet psychic, medium, all those different words. It means the same thing.
So, how did you know you could communicate with animals?
Oh, I love this. Like so many of us, as a child, I just knew. I mean, I was probably like 4. I'm like, okay, my dogs, my best. They're my besties. I could rely on them to feel that love. I could talk with them, and I did. And I did it behind my parents' back because I didn't want to be ridiculed, because it was something I knew intuitively they wouldn't understand me. And then as I got older, when I was 6, I actually created, and thank God my mom was like, sure, go ahead. I created a little daycare, but the only way the kids could come to the daycare, which is in the front of my yard, they had to bring their fur babies. They had to bring their dogs or their cats. Now, this was back in the 60s. So, everybody had their animals out, and, everybody, it was totally different than it is these days. That was really cool. And then again, as a child, I always went crayfishing, right? We lived by a stream, and I would go and pick them up. I was like, hi, how are you doing? And I put them back. And the kids that were with me would yell at me, like, why are you doing that? I was like, you're going to do that. You're going to put them back. And they did. And I said to them, they have feelings too. However, as time went on, and of course I had my own fur babies, I had dogs, cats, you name it. I was blessed to be around horses as a child, so I learned horseback riding. But as time went on, you get into 6th grade, 7th grade, junior high, high school, all of the emotions, the hormones, and he said, she said, and it started getting dampened down, and I just lost it. I wasn't even aware that I lost it. It just happened. And I know that my experience, it's totally common. Totally. There are so many people out there who are probably watching and listening to this right now going, yeah, that happened to me too. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can reawaken to it. And how I reawoken to it, it wasn't until 2013 when one of our family cats named Fulligan was deathly ill. And it was everybody asked, well, would you take care of Fulligan? You're so much better at that. I'm like, of course, you don't have to ask me. Come on, I'm going to take care of him. The vets, got the blood work, did the IVs, took care of him up the wazoo. And it was such a joy. And I was just I felt so grateful. However, I felt frustrated. I was like, I know there's more I can do for you, sweetie. And it just dawned on me. And someone at the same time, when I went to the pet store, and then they said, have you considered, because I was always hanging out at the pet store. They said, have you considered getting an animal communication session? I'm like, oh my God, I was just thinking about that. Bam. So we had an animal communication session, long distance. And it was also combined with Reiki. It was really powerful. And immediately I could hear Fulligan. I could hear, animals do have a voice that when we use our brain and we use our senses, we can pick up the personality coming from the voice. And he was just, as a matter of fact, man, you got this. It's all good. Like that carefree type feeling. And he, by the way, let me adjust my camera. There he is. He's at the very top. He's always watching me. That's Fulligan. That was back in 2010, 2009. Anyway, so, he immediately, I could hear him say, thank you for everything you're doing. I really appreciate this. I need you to allow the euthanasia. And he showed me a needle. And I said, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm good with that. He says, you guys will know when the right time is. I gotta adjust his camera. It's all good. So, and the reason why his main human asked me to take care of him was because Fulligan knew that he could not handle this. He's such an empath. His guy, his human, his immediate human. And I'll talk about that in a minute too. And he said, but he will also know when it's time. And I said, okay, that's good. And he was just, and he also told me, you need to be doing this. You need to be getting back into this as you did as a child. And he said, please don't call your business Fulligan. Don't have your business name as Fulligan. Please honor it with Serena. And Serena is his soul partner. Serena's still here with me. She's 20. She just turned 20. They've been together since they were both kittens. But they're not from the same litter, but they are soulmates. And yes, animals have animals as soulmates. That is real. That's how it happened. And that was 2013. I dived right in right after, he left the body. And the transition of him leaving the body was so powerful because everyone was super, super upset. I wasn't upset. I was just in the moment with him. And I felt him make that transition. I knew exactly. And I heard him. And he went, just like that, thank you. I am free now. It's beautiful. Dulsa, it's beautiful. Stay, be here. It is wonderful. So,
That's wow. So when he told you to start doing this, did you hone your skills yourself? Did you go to a course? Did you go
I
on?
did everything. I practice. I took several different courses, both in person. Back then, it was 2014 and 15. I had a local animal communicator in my area, so I took several classes, and I also combined that with Reiki. So I am an animal Reiki master as well. And it's changed everything. It's changed everything. And I was also operating a business full time. And I was doing my Reiki and communication very part-time. And it wasn't until probably 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I said, I'm going full-time. Because we lost our business, right, because of COVID. I was like, I have no choice. We lost our courier service because of COVID. And it was, I'm sorry COVID happened. It does. It was the best thing. It's the best thing.
Right. I always find that endings can be hard, but it sets it up for beginnings and how exciting
it really
beginnings
does.
can be.
And that's the other thing. Like, I'm always hearing him, and he's like prompting me to say, we really need to learn what we initially feel as horrible, tragic situations, sad situations, fearful situations, truly as learning situations and circumstances that we really have to wake up and say, what did I learn from that?
Mm.
What did I learn from that?
So are your clients mostly wanting to connect with an animal that has crossed over, or do they want help with their living animal?
I would say it's 50-50. I really get, I get every day I'm connected either with an animal in spirit or an animal here.
Is it
And
different for you?
nope. This is the beautiful part about learning to tap into your own abilities, your intuition, and your inner self, is that you understand it's energy. It's all about energy. Energy is all around us. So it doesn't matter if the animal is physically here or in spirit, because they're still an energetic being. Energy, it never dies. Nothing ever dies. I know so many people feel that, when the fur baby passes, it's like closure. No, it's new beginnings, and they've just changed form. That's all. But when we're full of emotion and anxiety, it's very difficult to even conceive of that. I understand that. And that's why people are so excited and relieved to get a reading, because they now have a platform, if you will, of information that they can start working on, both for themselves as well as anything else that comes through about their life, or about other humans in their life, or other animals in their life, or other humans in the spirit world, or other animals in the spirit world, because information comes through. And I really find that whether I'm talking with an animal in spirit or in physical form, that it's just in the present moment. It's right here.
Mm.
I mean, I just had a Zoom follow-up with a client, just to go over the reading, and she was like, he's really going to be reincarnated. And I'm like, yeah, he really is. She goes, I know, I keep feeling that. I said, that's your intuition. So my responsibility as an animal communicator is to always provide all the information, never leave anything out, and to help my clients understand that they're capable of tapping in as far as they'd like, so that they can start healing within and having a better life, whether they're animals here or in spirit.
Oh, that's beautiful, Dulsa. My goodness.
Oh.
What is one of your most memorable readings?
Oh my God. I have so many. I mean, so many. I would say Duncan the dog. Duncan.
So you say that's great.
Duncan.
All right. So I always wanted to name one of my children Duncan.
Oh my God.
Isn't that great? But I got a Colin and a Graham, but I wanted Duncan. And my husband was like, no, we can't do Duncan because of Dunkin' Donuts. It's so, familiar here.
Right.
And so I went with Graham.
I'm gonna share with you about this reading, but before I do, you brought up a really good point. We all have a belief system, and this is what I talk about in my awakening program, where I do private mentorship. And the first thing is alignment of beliefs. We all have belief systems. So when we hear a phrase or we hear a name, we have an association with them, right? Your
Mhm.
husband has an association of Dunkin' Donuts. Well, just think about having an association. I wouldn't even have thought of that, because that's how clear I am. When I receive an animal's name, I go with it. I go with it. And in this case, for you, you are so kind and loving and go, all right, we will find another name. And that's that is a blessing. That's really a blessing that you have with your love and compassion. So you were just saying, okay, no worries, we'll find another name. Let me tell you about Duncan. Duncan is a service dog, and he immediately showed me how his human, his in mama, and they, animals will say it's my mama or it's my human. It all means the same thing, a caring, loving human being, because we are amazing beings. Duncan was very concerned because he showed me she smokes, she's full of anxiety, she's worried about, well, everybody's worried about money. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are. But the smoking was very detrimental. And he showed me that his physical body was not doing well, because what I do is I do a body scan with animals, of course, that are physically here. And he showed me how he was dealing with major issues with his sugar levels, as well as his liver and kidneys. And one of the reasons that was having an issue was because of the cigarette smoking. And when, of course, I shared all of this with her, she was, oh my God, I have really major lung issues, because he started to show lung issues as well. I said, just cut back the smoking. And oh, by the way, continue taking him hiking. He loves it. And don't worry about the rocks. And she's like, oh my God, I slipped on the rocks and he pulled me out. it was amazing. So, humans will receive information because animals reflect to us how we're doing. They reflect to us how we're doing emotionally as well as physically. Can animals hold on to physical limitations, meaning problems with their bodies, to let the human know, hey, you got this issue going on? Absolutely. Absolutely. Animals will also develop diseases because they can no longer process the low vibration coming from the human, the stress, the anxiety, the everyday. That's one of the reasons why animals have, unfortunately, become ill. Other times animals become ill to let the human know, you better get to the doctors because you are going to be dealing with this. And sure enough, I've had readings where they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I went to the doctors, but we caught it in time. So it's really, animal communication, there are so many benefits to it. You not only learn what of course, your fur baby is trying to communicate with you, what they like, the bedding, the food, the going out, or what they're afraid of, why they have anxiety. Many times animals, sad to say, before they come into our loving home, they're either in a rescue center or they, experienced horrific trauma, from physical abuse to verbal abuse. I've seen it all. I have seen it all. To also where their brothers and sisters and or their mamas were not handled properly, not treated properly. So that creates a lot of, traumatic events that, they're traumatized. And they find a puppy at the rescue center or the shelter, and everything is fine until, they hear loud sirens going by the house and the dog freaks out. Or, somebody walks up to the doorbell, comes in, and it's a male image that has that energy of what they experienced way before coming into that home, and get aggressive. There's so many things that can trigger animals, and the humans like, I don't understand why they're showing these behaviors, or they're peeing all over the place. I've had cats where they just pee all over the place, and they're telling me my human doesn't pay any attention to me. They go out, they leave for days, they have other people take care of me. And I don't know if I'm coming or going. While they're taking the other animals with them, I have to stay here. In this one particular reading, that particular cat showed me all that. The human also worked about 14 hours a day and then would travel without taking the cat. And I said, you're just like leaving this cat like just to fend for themselves, and they don't know what you're doing. They don't know if you're going to be coming back. They've been trying to get your attention, peeing on the carpet so they would get like say hello, I'm here. As soon as the human understood that, the peeing stopped. She talks
That's
with the cat.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that you have I saw behind you it says awake.
My
Is
awakening, it's awake, and the end for awakening is in the present moment of now. Learning to live in the present moment. It's 5 steps: alignment of beliefs. Then we go through wisdom, understanding your animal's wisdom as well as your own inner wisdom, and identifying the physical and emotional imbalances and how to balance that. You also will learn what your animal's soul contract is with you, why your animal's in your life. Because this is powerful. Animals reflect to us all the time why they're here with us. We just don't understand. Again, example. I'll use an aggressive dog who is constantly barking and is just not sociable. The human is very aggressive. The human is full of piss and vinegar. They're angry. They're full of fear. And the animal is showing them that. In my coaching session, when they understand why their animal is like that, of course, I give them tools and resources on how to start releasing those emotions and those anger, and how to replace that, and how to work through that to become a grounded, present being. Because again, animals are energetic being, we are energetic being. The whole point of us being on this planet is to understand what our life journey is all about, and that we are dimensional beings first, and that yes, we have to balance living in the 3D world, living in the, oh, I got an appointment at such and such time, oh, I got to go pick up somebody, oh, I've got a test I got to take. That's the mechanisms of living in the 3D world, while balancing and flowing with, wait a minute, I don't have to worry about anything. Everything's going to work out fine. I'm not going to be late. And if I am, it's all good. I still get there. As opposed to, oh my God, I got to hurry up and drive and get late. Oh, I can't find a parking space. Of course you can't find a parking space. Of course you're going to get there late. That's because of your energy. It's powerful. And this all flows. All of this flows as one. We dive into tapping into your intuition and empowering yourself. Not only you start using your intuition and talking telepathically with your fur baby, but you use that in everyday things outside of your animal in your life.
So this is like a course that you have?
This is my coaching. This is my mentorship. I have 2 different types of programs. I have a one-on-one mentorship program where we go through all of this. And then I also have in my community, I have an animal companion community where we meet once a week. And in that community, you have an option where you can just be in the group, and we practice connecting with animals. We talk with animals every week, or every other week, I should say. We also dive in and practice using our intuition. I take people through meditations. We talk about how to shift our energy with the mindset, as well as behaviors and beliefs that we no longer want to have in our lives. Oh, I got to get up today and brush my teeth. Oh, I got to do this. That you feel like you're literally on a wheel doing the same thing day in and day out. And is this really life? Oh, and by the way, I'm so stressed. Oh, and by the way, my body is like giving out, and I'm only 30 years old. We dive into that. Now, in that community group, I also have options for the group as well as one-on-one coaching. So there's different ways, depending upon one's needs and desires, of diving in and really making some changes as well as helping their animal.
That's amazing. So any person, if they wanted to connect with their animal, or, if they needed help with an issue with their animal, they would be able to go to your website and
Yes.
find a solution that way.
Yes, I have actually. You're so good at this. I love this. I have resources. I have free resources that I recommend. And I, of course, we'll put the link below this video, but I recommend everybody who's watching this to take advantage of those free resources. I have a guided meditation that is designed for you to connect with any animal in spirit, any animal that has since transitioned. Doesn't matter when. It could be 20 years ago. It could be maybe a childhood animal you want to feel like you want to reunite. Because I want to share with you, our fur babies in spirit, they're right here with us. They never leave us. It's only when we feel so low vibration, I can't feel them. And that's what the meditation allows you to do. It relaxes you and it puts you in a state of presence. Now, you can also use this meditation, because I guide you through it, to pull or bring in your fur baby that's right there with you. I guide you to invite your fur baby that's physically in your home, or in this case, they're physically in the body, but maybe they're three houses down, or in another part of the United States, or in another part of the world, and you want to still connect with them. You could do it. The other free resource is my 12 tips to telepathically awaken yourself and talk with your animals. Oh my God, that 12th tip is powerful. I think you downloaded it.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
What was
certainly
that
did.
one? What was the one tip resonated for you? I'm putting you on the spot.
The one tip that I really have been doing a lot with my specific dog Hank, which my followers all know about Tiny Hank, is that to talk to him, to let him know when I'm leaving the house, or I feel stressed because of this, or I basically talk to him about how I'm feeling, instead of simply saying, like, how are you today? Oh, you're so cute. Oh, I love you so much. I basically talk to him like I'm talking to, like if one of my children were home, you know.
Beautiful.
And so that was the biggest takeaway for me, and that they really understand that. That was one of the big
I
things.
do. And when you're speaking with him and letting him know, he just always be in gratitude. Gratitude is very powerful, because when we can go, thanks so much, Hank, for listening. And you are amazing. And I hear you. I know I need to let you know when blah, 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 blah. I'm
Mm.
leaving the house. We're doing this trip. This is who's going to be taking care of you. Oh, you want to come and sit by my side now? Okay, that would be great. The other tip, the other free resource that I do have as well, it's an intuitive exercise. There's two different intuitive, how to practice using your intuitive with your fur babies. And plural fur babies, or just one fur baby. And when I say fur babies, I'm talking scales and feathers and all animals. It's not limited to dogs and cats.
Mm. That is amazing. I remember one time, Marin, that's my daughter, she leased a horse. So we didn't own the horse, but we owned it. It's like leasing a car when you lease a horse,
Yeah.
when you're a competitive rider.
Ah,
And so she was grooming him, getting to know him. She didn't want to jump right on him. She wanted to get to know him. And I mean, she is a gifted animal communicator in her own right. She doesn't have any
absolutely.
formal training, but she sent a picture, and he was like hugging her with his face. And she came home and she said to me, Mom, she said, I'm so excited. He said to me thank you for caring about me. And I said, did he talk to you? And she said, he talks like he doesn't talk, but he talks to my heart. And I thought, that's exactly what it is, right? That's
That's
exactly.
exactly what it is. When we're at a calm state, it's all about that heart-based consciousness. You're in the present moment. It's full of, you're in love.
Hmm.
Love is not an emotion, love is energy. When we all can learn, and who best to learn it from about being in compassion and in love is our animals. And she was right on point. You know, she interpreted, what she did was, without thinking about it, she interpreted what she was feeling and the image she got. The caring, what does that mean? That means hugging. That means just being in the present moment of compassion and respect. And that is one thing animals, they, we have soul contracts, and one of our soul contracts is teaching us how to learn unconditional love through their teachings. It's also about respect. And it's not just learning respect of respecting animals. It's about learning respecting ourselves. It's learning about respecting and unconditional love for everyone. No judgment. And I talk about this one in my, I have two different types of readings. I have a full reading, which I dive in and ask your animal, what made your life lesson? Why are they in your life? What is your soul contract all about? Why are they here? How you, meaning the human, can help your animal, as well as how the animal helps you. A lot of animal communicators feel that animals are only here for us. But in my practice and in my experience, both personally, I'm a cat mama. I have 6 cats indoors, and I take care of a feral colony of 12 plus 5 kittens. We have a cattery outside in our backyard. I have learned that animals choose at the soul level before incarnating, just like we do. Before we incarnate in these bodies, we choose what type of life lessons we want to learn and who we want to learn them with. Now, does that mean it's all bed and roses? Of course not. To truly learn many life lessons, you got to pick yourself up from the trauma. You got to pick yourself up from the icky stuff, from the really bad stuff. That's when people usually have an awakening. And that includes when they see their fur baby at their lowest of lows, even during, like what I experienced with Fulligan.
Mm-hmm.
A wake-up call for me. And is it the same thing for everybody? Absolutely not. But that soul contract is very, very vital. And it really does help a person truly understand why they're here. That's why we're so gravitated to animals, because they're energetic beings. They're like, you don't say this. You don't go, oh, I want to be like that when I grow up. But you feel it. You don't know how to put words to it, but you're like, oh man, I just got to hug this horse. I just got to hug this dog. I just got to hold this kitten. Oh my God, oh my God, they're so precious. They're full of life. That's love. And sometimes you just don't know the right words, but you know it here. That's when you're in the present moment with them. And that's when you're in the present moment with life. When you can live full of joy and true happiness every day. And throughout your day, you get, oh, I lost it. I lost my grace. Oh, thank you, Fulligan. Or, oh, thank you, Trek. Whatever animal's with you. Thank you for bringing me back to the present moment, because that's the journey. The journey is like, you're starting here, you go boop, 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 and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to go down too far today. I'm going to come back up. I caught myself. And the whole goal is to just learn to be present.
That's amazing. And I'm sure that everybody's watching is probably thinking of their animals and what their animals are trying to tell them, and I'm thinking about what my animal is trying to tell me, my tiny little Hank. And I can't, I could talk to you all day. But what I want everyone, and sometimes I get to, because Dulce and I
Oh,
know each other. But what I want people to specifically know is, if you're having trouble with your animal and you would like help from Dulce, then she does have a website. Everything will be in the description box below. She has free resources. She has a community that you can join on the monthly, where you can learn from her, learn from other people with doing the journey as well. And then she also has one-on-one services, where if you're having a specific issue with your animal, or you are really, really missing a fur baby that has crossed over that you wanted to connect with, then she absolutely has those services as well. So I invite you to look into the description box and check out all of the wonderful things that Dulce has to offer for us. And Dulce, I want to thank you so much for coming on my channel. You know, a lot of people that knit and spin and crochet, we tend to have animals. And we tend to have multiple
absolutely.
animals.
Yeah, I got a question. I don't mean to interrupt you. All right.
Go
I
ahead.
want to know in the comments section how many of your beautiful viewers and students are knitting doggy
Sweaters.
doggy stuff, cat stuff, sweaters, whatever, hats,
Fluffy toys.
toys. Cause oh my God, that I just picked that up. I just picked that up.
Yeah.
You have to do one for Hank.
I do, you know, I have a picture. I actually knit a sweater for my nephew's little bear. It was a bear that was my mother's, and he got it when she passed away. And so I knit him a sweater, and then of course I had to knit a sweater for the bear. And of course I was like, oh, the bear's like Hank size. And so I put it on Hank. So I have that picture, but I have made a couple sweaters for other people's animals, but I'm sure Hank is probably wanting something himself.
Oh,
So I should
so
probably get that. But let us know in the comments what your favorite patterns, or if you have toys or things that you make for your fur babies.
I
That would
would
be
love to read
amazing.
about that. Thank you.
That would be
Really,
so cool.
thank you so much for this opportunity. I feel very honored, and I'm very grateful for it, because it's really, for me, it's my passion. I want to help as many people as possible understand that you can have a better life. You can change things for yourself. You can learn and grow energetically, spiritually, soul deep. I mean, it's powerful, and yet still have an everyday life, getting to work and not freaking out, at work. Oh my God, what's wrong with my fur baby? No, you know exactly what's going on, because you can hear them, you can feel them.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, Dulce, thank you again for being here.
Thanks.
And I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to you again.
Okay, thank you.